the family of humanity is far bigger than any of us can possibly imagine. And it expands beyond dimensions. And I know for a lot of people that's hard to get, because you're so used to this density, this fish tank that we've all been living in, which we call third density. And it's a very, very tough school. There is no doubt about it. You know, it is not for weaklings or for the squeamish. Third density of Earth is a real tough detail. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So once you come to terms with that, once you actually grasp the fact that you are more than just a physical body, you can begin the process of expanding your field and reaching out with your intention, with your heart, with your emotions to that which you do not see. Just be clear about what it is you want. You have to be clear about what it is you want. And you're not going to be given anything you can't deal with.
Yes.
Okay, we have a lot of help here, folks. But like Elena was saying, we have to ask. You see, they know the situation we're in. This group of regressives that have been here manipulating behind the scene, they're very familiar with this bunch. They have been around. They have been in other star systems, mucking up everything. But if we ask, we are empowering ourselves. We are telling them, hey, we know we need help, but we're coming to you as an equal. And we're not asking you to save us per se, but we're asking you for help, guidance, and any knowledge you have that would help us figure out this mess and put humanity back on a path to where we can actually realize our full potential and promise. And, you know, we're the fork in the road is literally right in front of us. There is no more gray. You know, it used to be black and white, the extremes, and in the middle was gray. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure I have to tell most of you this. There's no more gray. It's one or the other. And that's by design. It's designed by the frequency. It's designed by the universe, by the frequencies coming from the suns, the central stars, from other dimensions, the Schumann resonance. All of those things are key in showing us that there is a genuine physical component to this movement of spirit. Because they're actually one and the same. I mean, it all starts in spirit, and then it comes down into the physical. So if we can embrace the idea that, okay, what I want is already here, and you keep calling it, you keep seeing it, you will pull it to you. And I know this is not new knowledge. This knowledge has been around forever. It's just that the powers that be have done their best to make sure that humanity remain disempowered and that only they, the powers that be, would have the answers and the information. And I've got news for you. They don't know shit. They really don't. They have screwed this up so bad that that's why all this other help has had to come in here, because they've mucked it up completely.
So that is something important, because as you were saying to me, they know the future. They know how it's going to be, but how it is going to be, it depends on what we are doing now. Yeah. What we are doing now. If we keep on doing our awakening as good soldiers, that's going to happen. It's just if suddenly we decide to step back and say, finally, I decide to have to be scared and do and be, you know, and oh, I'll stay like this, and finally no. But that's not gonna happen. So we need to keep on be brave, taking responsibility, refuse to be manipulated, refuse anything that's induced by fear. Fear is the mind control. And I totally agree when you say that they don't know anything about what we know, because they don't have access, they don't have the same structure of soul. Don't you agree with that? They can't access to the same thing.
I think in some cases that's true, but what happened is that they put themselves into, and I'm going to use the term matrix,
Yeah.
into a bubble of thought that basically is a cycle.
Yeah.
There is no real freedom to explore, to step outside the boundaries, because they are controlled and they are managed by beings who think holographically. And I'm talking about the off-worlders. So in order to keep them in control, they kept them in a cyclical type of thought pattern over and over and over again. And that cyclical cycle, that cycle is one of control, manipulation, domination, and that's pretty much it. And fear, okay? Creating a degree of fear everywhere.
Yeah.
Because when you're in fear, you tend to not express how you really feel. What you do is you withdraw into yourself. And then what happens is that at some point, what you see or what you begin to think is about, okay, I'm a physical being. Okay, I'm afraid for my physical life. When that's going to go away anyway at some point. And you were never that. You're never this. You know,
yes,
most of
temporary.
thousands of lifetimes, literally thousands of lifetimes. And up until 654 AD, you know, reincarnation was in the Bible. The Vatican took it out because I think it was Pope Gregory, he took it out because he couldn't get anyone to be serious enough about hell and being sinners, because everybody realized or had this belief system that they knew to be true within themselves that, well, you know, if I don't get it right this time, I will come back and I'll have another lifetime and I can do better. They couldn't create enough fear. So they took it out, and several generations later, no one remembered reincarnation. So they didn't realize, hey, you know, I'm a soul. Instead it was, I was born of sin, I am of sin, I'm a sinner, even though you're 3 hours old. I mean,
So they wanted to control people by fear.
yes, and that's basically the weapon of choice. And as long as they can convince us that we have a reason to be afraid, it works.